Hare Krishna. So we are so fortunate that we have His Grace Ravindra Nitai Prabhu with us today. He has been preaching Bhakti Vriksha since 2006 and has converted lot of lives. So today we are here to get the best nectar out of his life's experience, and we would like to know how did he do it actually, converting so many people into devotees. So let's find from him. First we would like to know what Prabhuji is doing in his material life. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, basically I'm a computer science engineer, and presently I'm working in the software division in one of the MNC company in Bangalore, working for project as well as delivery management.
Great. So that means you are taking care of your family, your material life, as well as balancing the spiritual life. That's wonderful to know.
Absolutely, Prabhu.
Alright, so let's start with our questions. My first question to you is, how long have you been associated with Bhakti Vriksha? Like in 2006 you said you joined. So have you been continuously in touch with Bhakti Vriksha?
See, if I have to talk about Bhakti Vriksha, right from the day I started coming to ISKCON way back 25 years back, I've been involved as a participant and also as a conductor right from my HK Hill time. I've been doing it, but here for the past 7 years, as a, like we were in a hardcore implementation of Bhakti Vriksha, right from, as you rightly told, from 2006 onwards.
Okay. Can you describe how the relationships between the devotees are in your group?
Relationships, I can tell it's the foremost in our spiritual activity. Definitely involving in Bhakti Vriksha, especially talking about relationship, I frankly say it is very intense and very loving.
That's very interesting. So, what is the secret of development of harmony within the members? Can you reveal the secret?
Prabhu, the secret is Prabhupada's philosophy. The secret is Prabhupada's philosophy, which the whole world knows now, and its implementation when it comes to practice in the form of Bhakti Vriksha in a very capsule way to giving to the mankind. Definitely this harmony is being shown in a very, very positive way.
What has been your contribution in developing your group in the community precisely?
My contribution is, see, I told we started Bhakti Vriksha in 2006. I could remember we had around 8 to 10 groups, may not be that active. Slowly, what was my contribution is that, to strengthen that particular 8 to 10 groups, simultaneously looking for new leaders, simultaneously working on various outreaches, various activity parallelly that has been taken up to form newer groups basically.
Okay, so what do you consider are the special achievements of your group on account of Bhakti Vriksha preaching in the community as compared to other preaching methods?
Special achievement is, Prabhu, one thing which really strikes me is the congregation is growing up so widely in our Bangalore temples. It has grown so much, and I could see another big plus is people, especially through Bhakti Vriksha, taking up various higher shiksha levels, taking up initiations very seriously, becoming a very hardcore serious devotees, very Vaishnavas. Like that, we could see various improvement in their life basically. And also, not only in their lives, it has added to the improvement of the temples also, because the congregation is growing.
So you can say you had one temple and now you have 3, and plus some extensions. Is it so?
Yes, initially in 2006 and up to 2010 or so, there was a one temple, and which is again multiplied into two other temples, which is three big centers in Bangalore, plus of course the two extension centers.
Great. So, what is the mood of the leadership in Bhakti Vriksha?
The mood of the leaders in Bhakti Vriksha, because as the term itself says servant leader, the mood is to serve his members basically. Here his mood is not of a boss. He has been told very clearly in a very humblest way that he is to serve them, to bring them up to become wonderful Vaishnavas.
Great. So my next question was, what are the leaders generally called as? You have already answered, servant leaders. Right. So please describe the relationship between the servant leaders and the devotees, and also between the different servant leaders themselves, relations between them.
See, if I have to take the first question, relationship between the servant leaders and his members. See, if the group has to sustain and if the group has to grow, as I told initially, relationship is the foremost. Relation and the proper care given to their members is foremost actually. Okay? So naturally, the relationship is, there will be loving relationship, and definitely the Bhakti Vriksha members, they can look forward to their leaders for help in their spiritual life, and of course sometimes seeps into the help in their material aspects too. And coming to the second part of the answer, relationship among the peers, that is Bhakti Vriksha leader to another Bhakti Vriksha leader, naturally it has to be cordial, and it will be cordial actually.
Great, that's very interesting to know. So now, how do you think we can convince others to take up Bhakti Vriksha preaching? Precisely this question is because in many parts of the world, people are still reluctant somehow or the other to take up Bhakti Vriksha preaching. So how can we convince others? That is my question to you.
Yes, even I have also noticed, reluctance in many parts of the world actually. But what I would like to say is, for those leaders who have some resistance in accepting Bhakti Vriksha, my first request to them is to study the Bhakti Vriksha manual or to understand from those who have already implemented. Because Bhakti Vriksha is such a wonderful concept actually, which not only develops one's spiritual personality, it will develop the whole yatra into a very, very robust and dynamic system actually. My humble request is, rather than being resistant towards it, let them get into the BV manual, let them get into interacting with those who have successfully contributed towards it. In short, I would like to say, Bhakti Vriksha is the future for the whole ISKCON movement.
Oh, so nice, interesting to hear that. You're so much convinced. Great. So, is Bhakti Vriksha an idea of a particular group, or is it in compliance with the methodology designed by our past acharyas?
I do not think this particular concept is a cook-up concept now. As I read from the manual, you will get various information that this is a deductive process, and Prabhupada's implementation process has been mentioned very many areas in Bhakti Vriksha manual. Definitely it's a deductive process coming from Srila Prabhupada and much higher also.
For example, higher authorities like
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj and Bhakti Vinod Thakur, like that.
Oh, great. That's very nice to hear. So, basically, this is not a system that has been implemented by some particular group. It is a deductive method.
Absolutely.
Very nice conclusion. My next question is, how long does it take for a member to start chanting Mahamantra after joining a Bhakti Vriksha group?
It's a good question. it's an elementary thing for any new person. It all depends. See, how long it takes means, since chanting japa is part of a Bhakti Vriksha system, if he joins on the first day, that will start on the first day itself. So that means the purification starts instantly. Naturally, when he sees others chanting, naturally when he sees that they are becoming very happy, sublime, in the midst of this chaotic society, definitely they will take up very soon, number one. At the same time, Bhakti Vriksha should parallelly go with the Siksha system, as I told you. That will also prompts him, induces him to take to the Siksha level and commit to the number of rounds which he has been taking.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the very first week he starts chanting.
Absolutely.
That's great to know. After joining Bhakti Vriksha, how soon, how much time does it take for a member to adapt completely to our culture?
Of course, I have seen what even Manuel has been suggesting, but according to our experience and our involvement here, if a person has to completely imbibe our lifestyle, at least it should be 6 months to 1 year. It's a minimum time, I can say.
Oh, this is unimaginable. In 1 year, if a person can adapt to our culture, that is really short time. That's amazing, wonderful. All right, so how much beneficial is Bhakti Vriksha to the newly joined devotees?
If I have to summarize, Bhakti Vriksha is an all-sided benefit not only for a newcomer, even for the existing people also. Let me tell you, I'm a hardcore Bhakti Vriksha man. I give Bhagavatam classes also. The amount of, if I give Bhagavatam classes, I really become very happy. But when I involve in Bhakti Vriksha as one of the member, talk to them, get their feelings, share my feelings, interact with them. When I come out of the program, the happiness I derive is much more than I get when I deliver a Bhagavatam class, to be very honest.
Oh, that's amazing to know. So, what are the scopes for a devotee who has completed Bhakti Vriksha? That means, if I have taken Bhakti Vriksha up and have completed 64 weeks, so what next? That's the main question. What can I do? Is there any other further course, or I am nowhere again, or what happens to me?
It's a wonderful question. See, after undergoing this 64 weeks of course, Bhakti Vriksha course, there are various avenues. One is, if that particular devotee matures enough, there is a scope for him to become an assistant monitor of another group. Or if he is really scaling very high, he can become a leader of a Bhakti Vriksha group for another new group. Or else, what happens, after going through traversing this 64 weeks, after that there is a provision to get into a very high, discussing high subject matter in the form of a study circle. There are various avenues like this.
Great. So, what is the most advantageous aspect in your view of Bhakti Vriksha?
Most advantage. If I have to share my personal experience, shall I give one example from the school?
Yes, certainly.
If I have to go back to my school days or college days, generally I was a most fearful sort of a student. Even if a student asks me a question, to get up and answer, I used to be very fearful. Today we have come to develop so many groups, and I am talking here means Bhakti Vriksha has molded me like this.
Yeah, same with me, Prabhu. Let me share the same. Okay, so how is the mood of a devotee towards the temple services, which is very important, who has undertaken Bhakti Vriksha? How does he respond to the temple services? That is the question.
Beautiful question. Bhakti Vriksha definitely constitutes a part of the system, yatra. You could see, I could say from the experience in Bangalore, all our Bhakti Vriksha leaders are extensively involved in every aspect of seva in the temple. The core aspects has been managed by Bhakti Vriksha devotees. So one side, they are enjoying Bhakti Vriksha system, they are developing their personality, they are developing their spiritual sublimity. On the other side, they are contributing to the yatra. Yatra is getting advantaged with this. It's like a multi-sided, it's a win-win for all.
Great, wonderful. So, one core question I can say, very important one. How expensive is Bhakti Vriksha program?
Again, it's a very good question. See, Bhakti Vriksha can be done in a simple way. It can be done in a lavish way too. But let me tell you one thing. Since Bhakti Vriksha is done in our own house, so there is no cost for, extra cost for, going for a rented place. That is one thing. On a week-to-day basis, on a week-on-week basis, definitely it will be a full prasadam, but we restrict to, like very simple prasadam. Of course, on a monthly or a bi-monthly Vyuha programs, definitely on a birthdays or maybe on marriage anniversary, etc. Such things, definitely we go for a lavish this thing. Why we go for a simple prasadam, but full prasadam on week basis, it should not be a burden for the host. In that way, if you see in very many aspects, it works out very cheaper, but the advantages is very, very, very high.
Great to know that. So that means it's almost like no expenses.
Absolutely.
Just from your house.
Rather than no expense, it can say minimal expenses.
Great. Alright, so are there any limitations, Prabhu, in the terms of gender or age of the member of Bhakti Vriksha? Like, I cannot join, he cannot join, she cannot join. Is there anything like that, Prabhu?
Prabhu, our Srila Prabhupada's philosophy is for the whole mankind. He may be he or she or an elderly gentleman or whatever it is. Bhakti Vriksha is open for everybody. But there are one more thing I would like to add. It is always feasible and healthy. If it is a youngsters, it's better and healthier to make a youngsters Bhakti Vriksha group. If it's a Mataji, young girls, it's better to make young Mataji's Bhakti Vriksha's group. Suppose if it is a professor's group, it's better to make them into one Bhakti Vriksha group. But there is no hard and fast rule that they cannot be mixed. But it can be otherwise also. There is flexibility.
How effective are the Siksha levels and what are the benefits of these Siksha levels?
Prabhu, as I told before, Bhakti Vriksha goes along with, Siksha should go along with the Bhakti Vriksha basically. It should go together parallelly because Siksha levels, it's a gradations, basically starting from 1 round, 4 round, 8 round, 16 life. We call it as, Shraddhavan, Krishna Sevak, Krishna Sadak, Prabhupada Ashraya, Guru Ashraya, like that. See, a person who comes to our movement and our system, we cannot expect them to hype up or scale up immediately. This Siksha level helps everyone to go in a very sequential and a constant way, sequential way basically. That is, a person initially starts chanting 1 round and follow minimal standards expected. And after some time, he is inspired. Naturally, when he is inspired, he will go up to 4 rounds. And there are certain standards to be followed for 4 rounds. Naturally, he scale up like that till he come to Prabhupada's Ashraya, basically wherein he will chant 16 rounds with most of the expected rules and regulations we expect. And he will scale up to, from there taking up Guru Ashraya, then Diksha, like that. It is a wonderful system. It's a constant and a sequential way where we can scale up a person from 1 round till 16 and higher.
Very interesting. That's very interesting. So, Prabhuji, what is your opinion about the structure of Bhakti Vriksha in terms of hierarchy?
Again, I can say it is very, very well knitted actually. Because, let me explain, in a particular group, in a Bhakti Vriksha group, it is up to 15, 8 to 15 generally. That is the standard acceptable and feasible size. That particular group of member constitutes one Bhakti Vriksha group. Like that, 4 such Bhakti Vriksha groups constitute one sector. Likewise, 4 such sectors, that is 16 groups, constitutes one chakra or circle. Likewise, 4 such chakras constitutes one Mahachakra. Like that, it goes high and high. And we could also see in B.V. Manual, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioning very wonderfully up to various high levels of achievement in Bhakti Vriksha system.
So how is it centralized? Like basically, you're talking about the chakras and upachakras, sectors and all. But I mean, how is it managed? I mean, individually or there is some centralization?
Prabhu, it is something like this. If you talk at the group level, the Bhakti Vriksha leader or the servant leader, he manages the group. That is at the one group level. At the 4 group levels, there is one sector servant, Upachakra. It means he manages that. So there is a connectivity. 4 such sector servants, he managed by one chakra. So there is a connectivity. Like that, it goes higher. In every level, if you go, it is a well-knit unit, I can say.
So that means above every gathering of groups, there is one responsible leader to take care of it and manage it.
Perfectly.
And still he has also to answer someone else above him.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So how does the routing happen? I mean, where is the root of this Bhakti Vriksha?
The root of Bhakti Vriksha, definitely I can say, it's CDM, Congregational Development Ministry.
Okay, right. So it should be ideally like that. All right. Okay. My next question is about the integral design. Like, how do you find the design structure of weekly and the complete 64 weeks curriculum? What is your opinion about that?
I could say, the syllabus, if I have to talk about the syllabus, Srila Prabhupada's philosophy has been extracted from various sources in terms of, let's say, science of self-realization or maybe path of perfection. Some of the weeks from Gita, some of them from Bhagavatam. It's a combination of Prabhupada's philosophy put together so that a new person could gradually learn and understand Srila Prabhupada's philosophy. That is about the syllabus. In this 64-week syllabus, it is not monotonous. Of course, regularly, every week, they'll sit and discuss about a philosophy. That is one aspect. Certain weeks, after 3 or 4 weeks, or maybe in some yatras, after 6 or 7 weeks, 2 to 3 groups sit together and have a sort of a Namata program. It's a change in the system, a little extra flavor. In some of the weeks, there may be audio program. Some of the week, there may be visual program. Some of the weeks, there may be seminars. Some of the weeks, there may be a skits program. It's a collective thing actually in order to help us to understand the philosophy, number one, and to how best we could inculcate in our practical life to become a nice Vaishnava.
So, but say if we talk about a weekly program, like suppose if I am conducting my Bhakti Vriksha today, how is it designed? What are the integral parts of it?
It's a very, very good question which I always love to answer. See, Bhakti Vriksha program, ideally it should not take more than 2 to 2.5 hours basically. It has got broadly 6 sections, 6 sections starting with icebreakers. It is a very, very wonderfully done thing, very naturally. It helps the person to shrug off his inhibition and to start contribute to the further aspects of Bhakti Vriksha program. It really shrugs off his inhibitions, fear, mental blockages, etc., etc. That is the good aspect of icebreaker. Followed by, there is a Kirtan program which really enthuses all of us. Followed by, there is a Japa program. That's what I was telling in the first part of the interview. The person who is present day one, he will also start, at least listening to the Japa that has been done collectively. Followed by a DUA program, that is discovery, understanding and, application aspect, which is a core aspect, I can say. If I have to elaborate on that, discovery is from among the subject matter that has been read, what points we could discover from what Srila Prabhupada is trying to say. Based on the discovered subject points, how best we could elaborate, that is understanding. After discovering, after elaborating, third aspect is very important aspect is application. That means how best I can practice in my day-to-day life. That is the core aspect of Bhakti Vriksha system. This is the fourth section. Fifth section being Prachar section. We call it as Krishna Prachar, preaching section. Because not only that, we keep on taking spiritual food. If we have to become very healthy, naturally we have to do some exercise. That is what, in terms of preaching, how best we can preach and make others also into devotees. That is the fifth section. Sixth being, of course, the prasadam, basically. These six constitutes a group's program in a Bhakti Vriksha.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. So, if we talk about, say, expanding or, say, multiplication, how really do you think is Bhakti Vriksha effective in expansion and multiplication? Tell us with your own experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. If I have to share my experience, as I told in the initial part of my interview, we started with 8th group, and today we have surpassed 100. We have surpassed 108. That is the result in Bangalore. How do you think this might have happened? This has definitely happened in consolidating the group, reaching out to the new people, and then multiplying actually. Because one is, there are two things we have to take care here in Bhakti Vriksha system. The existing people has to be nicely nurtured. They have to be nicely maintained. 10 should become 11, but 10 should not become 8 or 7. That is the first priority. Maintain the existing. Second is, in order to make 10 to 11, 12, 13, definitely we have to reach out. That we call it as an outreach program. By doing outreach program, definitely the Bhakti Vriksha group multiplies. Number one. Outreach programs can be getting contacts through book distribution, getting contacts through Janmashtami festivals, getting contacts through any sort of a, for example, if you go out, do a seminar in, for example, in one women's club, you get a lot of contacts there. Janmashtami festival, you get a lot of contacts there. Books distribution, as I told you, Rath Yatra festival, contacts you can get a number. Those contacts has to be carefully collected, and there is a separate program wherein actually how do we call them for other versions of program, cultivate them properly, add them to the Bhakti Vriksha group. That is about outreach program. Another best thing what I would like to say is, suppose if there are 10 members in a group, one of the wonderful jargon I read from Bhakti Vriksha manual is, contacts to contact is the golden contact. That means, if there are 10 members in a Bhakti Vriksha group, if at least each one of them convinces another one to bring, that automatically becomes 20. That is the reason contact is a golden contact. That is most powerful way of reaching out and expanding the system.
Oh, so beautiful. Very well explained, Prabhuji. So now my next question is about how do you think effective is this program in bringing out a preacher from a devotee? That means a member is joining and he learns our philosophy, but does he become a devotee, or he can somehow, I mean, this is unimaginable, but can a newly joined member, can he also become a preacher himself? Is it possible? How effective is Bhakti Vriksha in that?
It's a marvelous question, because since it's our movement is a preaching movement, this is a very, very relevant question. Definitely a so-called a materialist, by coming in contact with Bhakti Vriksha system, gradually he'll become a nice devotee. A nice devotee, definitely he will go up to as through the Siksha level, one day he become an initiated disciple of any gurus. So gradually the next step is, after getting accumulating so much wealth from Prabhupada's philosophy, definitely the person like to give out. It is not that only after accepting initiation it starts giving out. Bhakti Vriksha is such a system. As I told you in the previous fifth section is Krishna Prachar section. Even for a person who is new, we induce him to start preaching. Preaching need not be thought about like sitting on a Vyasasana and doing Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita classes. It can be as simple as sharing information. I'll give an example. In one particular Bhakti Vriksha group, let's say there is a mention about charity. Prabhupada talks about first class charity, second class and third class charity. So people have various conceptions about charity. So from the viewpoint of Acharya, from the viewpoint of scripture, what is about the charity? He can go and share it to others. That becomes an indirect preaching. That means he's becoming a preacher right from day one.
Oh, right from day one.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Right from day one he starts chanting, and right from day one he
can
becomes a
share.
preacher.
Yes.
Wonderful, amazing, mesmerizing. So now I'll come to some personal questions relevant to Bhakti Vriksha. What was the biggest personal challenge for you to take leadership in Bhakti Vriksha?
You're asking me personally?
Yes.
Initially, if I had to go back, when I took over as a group leader, basically,
Anything.
if I have to go back, when I was a group leader, the greatest challenge was, will I able to do it effectively? Will I able to convince people effectively? The fear factor. There were various things, like this actually, which used to hamper us whether we should get in or not. But trust me, it's my own experience. I shared my college and school experiences, how fearful I was. It is thoroughly enjoyable. Fear factor will gradually subside. And there is a fear factor. Suppose if somebody asks question whether I would be able to answer, there is no shame here. If we don't know the answer, we can get it from my seniors, and it can be told another day basically. So these sort of stumbling blocks or the mental blocks, gradually it can be evaporated. But let me tell you the fact, our total personality will change. And personally, if you ask me, Ravindra Nitai Das, my personality has been changed by Bhakti Vriksha system. I vouch for it.
Jai Ho Hari Bol. Alright, so now a little even more personal. How, right now your family is right here with us, how your involvement affected your family? What was their reaction?
In fact, fortunately, even my wife, Pavani Ganga Devi Dasi, she is also a devotee, initiated devotee. So in that way, I got a much needed help, in every step, I can say. But we have seen situations in our Bhakti Vriksha groups, husband may be a initiated devotee, the Mataji, the wife may not be. Of course, there will be some resistance, basically. If there is some tilt in compatibility, there will be some resistance. But sooner or later, in our experience, even the so-called uninitiated Matajis also starts helping, and it has come to a very good standing of late.
So again, coming back to your personal thing, what exactly is your experience personally? Was it constructive, or has it hampered the relations, or to be very honest, somewhere,
There is no question of hampering the relationship actually. In fact, it has added very much to our Grihastha life actually. Though there is some amount of time and energy that we need to contribute to the Bhakti Vriksha system and the Bhakti Vriksha members and others. But if we somehow make our spouses understand about it, it will be healthy and a win-win situation. That's what I can say.
Excellent, Prabhuji. So, how do you find the time? What did you have to sacrifice? How do you get the time? That's the main question, because a lot of devotees would like to know where to get the time from. So, where did you get the time from?
My simple understanding is, time means Krishna. Time factor is Krishna. I am a computer science engineer in software professional, a so-called busy person. I always take this Prabhupada's story of a paramar, who has got an extra marital relationship outside his marriage. We all know that particular story. I exactly follow that philosophy. Whether I am in office or in house or anywhere, my consciousness is Bhakti Vriksha consciousness. If that is the case, Even in office, when you get even little time, I'll be talking to the Bhakti Vriksha leaders. Little time, I'll be sending SMS. Little time, I'll work for next week program. In evening, I'll be working for Bhakti Vriksha program. We don't have any other extracurricular activities like clubs, films, etc. Naturally, use everything for Bhakti Vriksha program. It all depends on our desire, basically. Then time, Kala will give, who is Krishna. That is what successfully has happened.
Unbelievable. That's wonderful. Such a faith in Krishna. All right. So we'll get that strong inspiration from you. What is the biggest personal realization you gained doing this service?
Biggest realization is, to be very honest, Bhakti Vriksha system is very dear to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Very many times he has advised us, please take it up, please take it up. After taking it up and implementing it, as I told you, enormous spiritual happiness is there. We feel that, something we are contributing to the desire of the spiritual master, to the desire of Srila Prabhupada, and also personally I feel very happy that at least to some extent I am contributing towards Srila Mahaprabhu's movement as a whole.
Great. So please share at least one story, an anecdote of a real transformation that happened in one of your BV members. That will be very inspirational for others.
Yes, definitely. In fact, there are various stories. In Bhakti Vriksha means there are varieties of stories actually. But Prabhuji have asked one such story. Definitely I'm going to say one story. In one of the group, there is, I don't want to name his name for the sake of confidentiality. This particular person is a rich person, and he had all bad characteristics: smoking, gambling, women hunting, everything he had. He is a very stinking rich person, but unfortunately he never used to get sleep even after having so much wealth and so much activities which he is badly associated with. Somehow, through our Janmashtami seminar program, he came in touch with one of the seminar program in the name of Searching Water in the Desert. That was the topic we took that. He heard about it. Without we mentioning it, he took out those mantra, these 16 names, and he started chanting actually, which later he became a Bhakti Vriksha member. And today he is coming and bowing down virtually to us, saying that I am sleeping peacefully by leaving up all those bad characteristics. Like that we get so many, we get such glories only from Bhakti Vriksha system.
I think we'll have to extend this interview for hours together to hear all your stories. Okay, so last question, but very important. Give some examples of material or spiritual help which your group members have derived from Bhakti Vriksha groups.
Again, a wonderful question, Prabhu. Let's go to the second one first. Spiritual advantages. As we all know, our movement is very rich in spiritual culture. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Any person who gives little attention towards Prabhupada philosophy, starts imbibing in his life, there will be a revolution in his heart and his life, and we have seen it across the world. Coming to the first one, even materially also advantages are, I'll give you a certain simple example. There is one devotee who is expert, is a chemical engineer basically, who does this paint related stuffs and all. And there is another devotee who manages a big establishments like that. One such establishment had become vacant. He called him so that he could contribute. What is happening is he is giving his building and the other person is putting his chemical engineering knowledge and all. He is getting his own commissions, and the other person without chemical engineering knowledge, by renting the thing, he is getting his own commission. See, this is one such simple example I am giving. There are very many examples I can give like this.
Any health related aids that they have received or something like that, like somebody was in trouble and some help has been received by the devotees, some examples like that?
Absolutely. Very recently, one of my god sister, she passed away, and I can say there were very much Lakshmi was involved in the operation and all. She was in ICU too, and she left the body. I could practically see all the congregation member, collating so much of Lakshmi, so that the operations are taken care, and such things like that. We have seen such examples. That is one aspect of it. We have seen cases where people might have lost jobs. Bhakti Vriksha members who are working in a company, they give references and they have been pulled. We have seen such cases. There are various advantages also from the material perspective.
Wonderful. So overall, we can conclude that Ravindra Nitai Prabhu has had a wonderful time doing Bhakti Vriksha and is still relishing the cult, the culture, and this program, and would like to continue for how much time?
Bhakti Vriksha, as I told, is dear to my Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. It is extremely dear to me too, because it has changed me as a person and changed my whole personality. This I have not taken it as a course. It's like a 6 months Java course, 6 months COBOL, or .NET course. This is my lifetime course, Prabhu.
And you will keep on transforming lots of souls.
I need the blessings of all the Vaishnavas who can bless me so that I could do something to Srila Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu's movement.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.